Okay, so a while ago, I made this tweet where I endorsed this product. It's a product called the Daylight something, and I made a tweet. This is the first time a San Francisco tech company has made anything worthwhile in about a decade. Was my tweet, and this is what it was in response to. It's a thing called the Daylight. You can't really see it very well because I'm recording this. This is this is this channel where I record things like this. But it's a tablet which which sort of claims to be something like e-ink or e-paper. E-paper is the word they use with some sort of new technology, and I thought that's pretty cool. Uh, and I didn't really look into it beyond that. Like, hey, I've never seen e-ink be that responsive. That's insane. Like, I knew it was getting better, but that's insane. But I should have known from the fact that this doesn't look anything like e-ink that it wasn't e-ink. So I just am making this video to sort of amend my endorsement of this product and go a little more in depth about what it actually is and what purpose it serves. So the Daylight, uh, firstly, let's just get this out of the way. This tech company bullshit is really, really bad, and I don't like it at all. The computer de-invented. Go fuck yourself. It's just a tablet. uh, but let me talk. Let me tell you about the worst thing. Let me tell you about the worst thing. Okay, so let me just be clear here. I don't think this product is evil. I don't think this product is immoral or that there's no use case for the technology. I don't even think the technology is bad. Like I think there's cool stuff going on here. But there is some stuff which I think is unforgivably evil. And the first thing is that their website does this stupid thing where it hijacks your scrolling. I'm scrolling right now, and it's not scrolling, it's just making it's hide I hate websites that do this. I hate scroll jacking websites. Stop making websites like this. I will kill you. I will come to your house and I will murder you if you make a website like this. Stop doing it. It's not what websites are supposed to be. I want my scroll wheel to fucking scroll because that's what it's made to do. Don't fucking do this to me. I think this should be illegal. This is like against web standards. It's like you shouldn't be able to abuse software like this. It's bad. It's another example of how the web is poorly designed because you simply should not be able to do this. This is illegal design. This is illegal in the same way that like there are illegal Lego builds. You're using something in a way it was never designed to be used, and so many companies do this. And I fucking hate it. Stop hijacking my scroll, please. I'm begging you. Stop making websites that hijack your scroll. Just let me scroll. Look how fucking laggy this is. I'm on a brand new Mac, okay? And look how laggy this fucking website is because this JavaScript fucking garbage was never supposed to work like this. It's a stupid hack. It's not cool. It doesn't look cool. It's annoying. It makes the website worse. Stop doing this. This is evil. Any company that does this, you'll be up against the wall. If you're a web designer that does this, you'll be up against the wall after the revolution. Okay, the revolution of Gopher users against the web. So this is their garbage fucking website. It's trash. Look, it has this thing that doesn't even fucking work because the scroll wheel was so bad that they had to make a worse version of a scroll. Look how bad it is. It's just terrible. It's so bad. I hate it. I hate this fucking website. Um, but they have this video. I'm glad that this isn't a YouTube embed. I'll tell you that much. I'm glad that they're actually hosting the video. Right now, I'm having some internet issues, so this isn't the website's fault. This is my internet's fault. But if you watch their ad and you read their marketing materials, you'll see that the sort of thing. This is their sort of their line, right? This is their line. Their line is it's a distraction-free tablet, although they keep calling it a computer, which I guess a tablet is technically a computer. But look, they're like, it's a sacred space. Come on now. Come on now. A sacred space? Are you kidding me? It's a fucking tablet. Chill out. It's like this is where I it's like borderline misleading, right? Because they say live paper display. We invented a new type of display that's like e-ink but faster. It looks and feels like paper but runs at 60 FPS. Okay, so this is the thing that is, I would argue, just misleading. I think it's just misleading because in their advertising materials they do a lot to try and make it look as much like paper as possible. But as I'll show you in a second, this is really not the case. It has the apps you need. So this is them just saying it runs Android. That's the actual truth here. It's just an Android tablet with a different type of display. I don't know. I don't understand what this is about. It's a computer you can use outside. There's been a lot of computers you can do outside. I don't really understand what that's about. Why am I scrolling down right now and the website is scrolling sideways? Like, just stop doing this. Okay, so do you understand their general marketing spiel? Their spiel is they don't like eye strain. They're against eye strain, and they want this like peaceful. I do like the aesthetic of the amber. Okay, I like the aesthetic of the amber color. It reminds me of old monochrome terminals. Okay, I like that. But do you see from the vibe, the Uniqlo-esque vibe they're going for? Everyone's in nature. Everyone's peaceful. Wearing loose-fitting clothing. Right. Okay. So, then they have this spiel about how they're not a real company, they're a public benefit company, which is just a made-up marketing thing. This is just for investors. You don't have to worry about it. They're just it's not real. But so their basic line is, if you want a stripped-down, distraction-free, non-addictive computing experience that is free from eye strain and portable, you should buy this Daylight. Okay. Now, what is the Daylight? As I said, it's just an Android tablet with a different type of screen than a regular Android tablet. Something very, very, very important to note is that this thing costs $800, basically $729. This thing costs $729, which is quite expensive. So let's bear that in mind. And they're probably losing money on this. They're probably running on investor funds, selling it that cheap. And that's expensive. $729 is not actually cheap. But now let's look at what it actually looks like. I found this review from Joshua Chang. And he's going to compare...
display. A reflective display is something like, a Kindle. This is reflecting light.
So this is what e-ink actually looks like. Because you might not realize it from the marketing materials, but actually this is nothing like a Kindle display. It's nothing like an e-ink display. It's a completely different thing. They make a lot of allusions to it being 60 FPS e-ink, but it's not. Right? This is an e-ink display. Do you see how it just looks like paper?
A transflective display.
It's what the actual display is it's an LCD with no backlight. Right, it's like the original Game Boy. It's like the original Game Boy. You can, once you realize that, you'll notice it even looks like the original Game Boy screen. It's obviously much higher resolution, higher refresh rate, and touchscreen, and that's all impressive. Like, I'm not against the technology of non-backlit LCDs. I think they're cool. I love non-backlit LCDs. In fact, I was thinking of making my own little tinkering project with a non-backlit LCD that I'm working on in the back of my head with the Raspberry Pi and stuff. It's going to be cool if I ever do it. I don't know if I ever will. But I'm a big fan of this kind of transflective display as this guy is describing it, right? I think they're neat, and I think making a high refresh rate or semi-high refresh rate, 60 hertz touchscreen version is like not bad. If you want an Android tablet that is worse than most Android tablets and can't display color, that's not a bad thing. I'm saying that like it's a bad thing, but that's like fine. You can have one of those, and if you want to pay like that much money for that, then go ahead. But let's be very clear on what this actually is. It's not gonna have, like, if you compare, he does this in the video. If you compare the viewing angles, right? Like an actual e-ink display is not going to have this problem, right? You see how when he turns it sideways, you can't fucking see anything because of the polarizing filter over it. Like, compare that to an actual e-ink display. I know I'm literally just stealing content right now. Just to be very clear, this is Joshua Chang's video, but I'm not going to buy this fucking product that it's sold out anyway. Whatever. It's not the e-ink. Anything all of their marketing materials that compare it to e-ink, are misleading, but honestly, I should have guessed that from the fact that it doesn't look anything like e-ink, and I think I was being a bit stupid by even, you know, not realizing that immediately. So, to be very clear, this product isn't evil. It's fine if you want to have a tablet like that. I'm a bit skeptical of some of their claims, though. Firstly, they go in a lot on blue light. A lot of this blue light stuff is basically made up. Like, there's not significant evidence that blue light causes increased eye strain compared to other wavelengths of light. Like, that is just made up. And there's not really that much, even when it comes to sleep. There is some evidence that blue light can negatively impact sleep, but generally speaking, the evidence is much more in favor that it's artificial light in general that negatively impacts sleep. It's not specifically blue light, although there may be some marginal difference there. But I think uh, you can look into this yourself. You know, I'm not a doctor. I don't know that much about this, but from what I've read, people overstate the negative impacts of blue light to a really high degree when it's really not that big of a deal. That being said, if you just like the aesthetic of a sort of amber colored screen, I'm completely on board with that. I use, Apple's night shift thing on this computer, right? Which does the same thing. It's like Flux on Windows, built in. It filters blue light. I think that I think it helps me sleep, or at least it helps me calm down before I go to bed. Like it might be completely subjective and anecdotal and whatever, but I'm not against it. Is what I'm saying. I like it aesthetically. I think it's fine. I'm not saying that's evil. What I am saying is, if you really want a distraction-free portable computing experience, an Android tablet is not what you want. Because you can't really get any work done on a tablet, right? Like everyone knows this. You can't really get any work done. And if you just want an e-reader, you should probably buy an e-reader rather than, whatever this daylight thing is, which isn't actual e-ink. So it doesn't have the display angles, and it's just not the same experience as reading on a Kindle or a Remarkable like this or whatever. Um, and that's fine. Like it's gonna be a bit more versatile than a proper e-ink display. Like if you compare, um, he does this at some point in the video. Like you compare zooming, like this is what how responsive the LCD display is, right? It's responsive like you would expect a 60 hertz LCD versus e-ink. Fucking, it's still e-ink, right? Like it's a fundamental limitation of the technology. Uh, just it can't really be that high refresh rate without trailing and other issues, which you've probably all seen if you've tried to look into e-ink monitors. And maybe one day those problems will be solved, but for now, I would not say that the individuals behind the Daylight tablet have revolutionized display technology. They really haven't. They've incremented on it, and that's fine. That's good enough. And I know that the way Silicon Valley works is you have to market everything as if it's some revolution. It's really not. They've made some incremental improvements on existing transflective LCD technology, and that's cool. And that's all it has to be. I wish it wasn't a tablet. I wish it was just a component that I could buy. And maybe it is. Maybe I can just buy this screen without any of the stuff attached and make my own thing out of it. I don't know. I doubt it. I wish they would just sell that though. But let me say, if you want this sort of minimalist, distraction-free, um, if you want a computer that isn't as addictive, that isn't gonna cry out for your attention all the time, which is kind of what they're implying. And they even say, like, they use language like you're in control, stuff like that, like a device that doesn't control you. I forget exactly what they said, but something along those lines, right? If you want that, what I would recommend you do is you purchase one of these. This is an old ThinkPad X60 tablet. Has a swiveling display that's touchscreen and turns into a tablet. It costs, significantly less secondhand than a Daylight is. Also, Daylight, they're doing a lot of advertising where they're implying that it's somehow in nature, but Daylight is e-waste in waiting, right? Like this thing is not repairable. This thing is absolutely not eco-friendly in any way. Buying a secondhand computer is significantly more ethical than buying anything brand new electronics. And look, I'm aware I'm fully aware of the irony that I'm making this video with a Mac. Okay, I'm using a Mac right now for a series of complicated reasons. I don't want to get into it right now. If you want me to, I'll make a video about that. That's probably not interesting enough to make it. You know what? Fuck it. I'll address it. So I'm in Estonia right now. I needed to bring a computer with me to Estonia. I also was halfway through work making an album. I use this Mac because I make music using Logic, which is my own fault. Um, and that's why I need to own a Mac because I'm locked into Apple's ecosystem through Logic, the program I used to make music. So when I came to Estonia, I was like, well, I need to bring my Mac because I'm halfway through making an album, and that's, ostensibly something along the lines of the main thing I do. I don't want to just put a pause on all of that because I'm in a different country, so I need to bring my Mac with me. Second reason being, I'm going to be on a plane for a bunch of hours, and this Mac has a longer lasting battery than any of my ThinkPads do, which is my own fault for buying shitty third party batteries. But the high quality batteries are hard to find, okay, for old ThinkPads. But my original idea was to both bring this and my X60. Unfortunately, I just couldn't fit them both in my backpack. That's the sad truth. It just came down to not enough space in my bag to carry both of them, so I ended up just bringing the Mac. Otherwise, I wouldn't be on this Mac right now. Okay, that's that dealt with. So you should probably just buy one of these if you absolutely need it to be in a tablet form factor. But honestly, you don't. Tablets suck. You should probably just go on eBay and find any old, fucking Core 2 Duo laptop with no RAM and whatever. And then you should just install like Linux on it or NetBSD or something like along those lines. Or OpenBSD or any BSD flavor. Or Plan 9. Fuck it, right? And make the system super minimal. When you install some sort of OS, don't install like the bare minimum you need, some sort of text, like whatever you want to do, like to make it distraction free. I just want a text editor. I just want, whatever the fuck, right? Don't install Emacs, right? Install like NeatVI or some shit, some VI. Just use ED. In fact, text editors are bloat. Just use uh cat. Just use cat and sed and orc and echo. Anyway, sorry. This is now getting way too niche. Linux memes. Uh, the point being, this is what Daylight wants to be. Daylight desperately wants to be a Dell Latitude E6400. Um, which I look how cheap this is. Do you understand how cheap this is? This is just a comparison point, okay? The Daylight cost something along the lines of $700. This costs 25 quid, right? You just don't need to buy that stuff. You just don't need to. There's just no reason to buy that stuff. It doesn't do what it wants, what it claims to do. It's gonna be, it's a distraction full because it's just Android, right? But it sucks because it's just a monochrome display, which you're quickly gonna. So it's just like a super niche Android tablet that you can only use sometimes because it's a monochrome display. And so you're just gonna be annoyed with it, and it's just gonna end up sitting in a corner, and you might use it sometimes for reading. But ultimately, was it worth $700? No, I don't think that was unless you're already rich. Was it worth all of the child slave labor that it took to produce it? I don't know. Was it worth the e-waste that is going to continue destroying the environment once you throw it away and it breaks and you can't repair it? I'm going to say no on that one. Was it worth all of the time and effort it took to mine all of the lithium in those batteries and the cobalt and the gold? And I don't know. You can make your own decisions up about that. But let me tell you, this computer probably works already. Probably maybe not actually. It says please read. There's probably like some issue or something. But uh, just buy an old used computer with a Core 2 Duo or a fucking Pentium for all I care. You don't need to care about any of this stuff. If you want a distraction-free minimal experience, then go all in on a distraction-free minimal experience. Don't fucking think that some new tech product from San Francisco is going to solve your problems. You can solve your problems by installing a minimal operating system on an old computer. Like, you want distraction free? You don't want to be checking fucking Twitter every 10 seconds? Right, try an old enough computer that can't even load Twitter. Buy an Amiga.